Hi everybody, here we are in my latest podcast, and today we'll be talking marketing, we'll be talking mindset, we'll be talking finding your voice, literally here with Silvina Hood, who has helped me grow my business here in Sotogrande with all her marketing efforts. Silvina, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Charlie. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor.
Yes.
Well, you come now and again, so it's great to have you and wonderful. Before we get into it all, how would you introduce yourself to someone who's never met you? Who is Silvina Hood?
Professionally, I now introduce myself as a mentor in communication, persuasion, and leadership.
Right.
Before, I used to say I was a marketer and linked to sales. But now I also work with that. And personally, I like to say that I'm a very joyful person.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I like joyful because it changes the mood sometimes when things are not so good. You currently live in Málaga, and we met here in Sotogrande a few years ago. And I can understand a single person wanting to have a bit more of a cosmopolitan life around you. How do you find Málaga from Sotogrande? I mean, it must be significantly different.
Yes, it is. Actually, in the last years, I've been thinking a lot about Sotogrande more than Málaga.
Yeah.
There are reasons for that. I remember I came to Sotogrande by chance because I was dating someone who was an owner of a restaurant here. And that's why I landed here. I didn't know where I was. And yes, I lived here. But I decided to move to Málaga because I'm talking about 10 years ago, more or less, 8 years ago. It's not the Sotogrande we all know today. Right. It was different back then. Yeah. I was 27, 28 years old, and I didn't drive. So I was locked up in Sotogrande, or I depended on my boyfriend or in the taxis to get out and live a life. And the reason why I chose Málaga was because I could do a lot of activities. I need my brain to work all the time. I need intellectual challenges. Otherwise, I explode or I feel trapped in my own mind. So back then, Sotogrande didn't offer that part, like courses or theater, whatever it was. I know Marbella has it, but I didn't have a car. Right. So I searched for a city that with walkable distance, I could go to anywhere I wanted.
Very good. And, as someone your age, of course, I would actually suggest you go because, Sotogrande is a resort. It's not a town. You will have much more stimulus from, life around you. Everything, as you just described, being at a library or being at a gym or being at whatever, you have many more people to meet, particularly as someone young, that is looking for things to do. Before marketing and before coaching, where does your story really begin? Because I think you're from Argentina. Yes. Someone told me you're from Argentina. Well, I know you're from Argentina.
Career change here. Yeah. Well, I studied industrial design, actually, in Argentina. Okay. Yes, in Buenos Aires, in the University of Buenos Aires. And I noticed that because it was my hobby, like suddenly my brother came and said, there's this career that you do all the stuff that you do as a hobby, like crafts and building things and designing stuff. So I studied it, believing that was what I wanted to do, but I realized it was still a hobby. And back then in Buenos Aires, there was a firm who needed a marketing position, and Argentinians are very forward launched, like, okay, yes, I can do it. Mm-hmm. And it was a pymes, it was a small company. So they needed someone that could handle everything. And I said, yeah, I can do it. You teach me and I can do it. And that's how I got into marketing. It was by experience, not by studying per se. Right. Although industrial design, you have to learn how to sell your products, you have to present them. So I already had that background in design.
Right. For anyone who heard pymes, that Silvia just said, pymes is pequeña y medianas empresas, which is small and medium-sized companies. Okay, so just a clarification for those anyone listening. So you got into marketing that way. That was your thing. That was your path in. You now spent more than 10 years doing that. What's changed most during that time? Because I take my experience of my own daughter, Christina, who's a graphic artist, but now she's something totally different because, designing is, from drawing yourself is now totally different. What was your path on that?
First, the speed.
Right.
Before, everything was so long-term and everything was so pre-produced before something was launched. Mm-hmm. And nowadays is, okay, you launch, you test with the market, and then you get immediate feedback, and then you correct and you do. Yeah. But the speed, now it's like even faster than we can even consider.
Yeah.
Back then, so it was the speed. Then it was, I always worked with sales, always. Back then I did the marketing for the salesmen. They were engineers,
Right.
not what I do today.
What I call trade marketing.
Trade marketing.
Yes, it's,
Okay.
it's marketing to the trade, to the people that sell the product.
Yes.
Be it your salespeople or the people that they sell to, therefore how they sell out.
Okay. And back then it was all traditional, a lot of printed materials, a lot of cards, everything was really taking care of what you deliver to the final client.
Right.
And one thing that did stay in common is that salespeople are still very stubborn. And you still, as a marketer, you have to like introduce the concept that you want to bring in, especially if it's innovative, so the salespeople can really grab it and apply it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a same old story. You know, it doesn't sell because marketing hasn't gone the advertising right, and marketing say the sales guys haven't been selling properly. That's why it doesn't work.
Exactly.
And that's every company has that
Yes.
that I've ever worked in. You know, so it's a standard thing. The relationship with Sotogrande, how did that begin? I mean, I should know, but I'll let you answer that. I'll let you answer that.
It was 2017, sorry.
Yeah.
2017, my ex-boyfriend back then put me into contact with these two people who needed someone who managed their social media 10 years ago, which was just posting one photograph on Facebook and just starting Instagram. It was just starting.
Yeah.
So it was very simple, and they needed someone to cover their social media. So I came here to this office 10 years ago, and I remember, Stefan, you were working alone back then.
Yeah.
You had no teams, no external, no agent, nothing. And that's when you told me you needed this. And I remember you asked for more. Do you do AdWords? And I said, no, but I can learn it. Argentinian, of course.
Yeah.
That's our signature. And that's how it happened. And then we started working. You started giving me more work. Then I started grabbing more work. I started proposing. What I love working with you is that you're very innovative. So any crazy idea that I bring, you are the exception to the rule, that you're the salespeople who, okay, let's do this.
Yeah. No, I mean, my experience is one in marketing. That's what I studied at university. Yes. That's what I was doing as a brand manager, and then a senior brand manager, then looking after teams and stuff on an international basis. So I've always been in the industry and kept up to date with the way it has developed. And
that's why you know how to say yes to the things that I say.
yes, no, but also, you know, I don't think anything you ever said and everything I ever said ended up being exactly that.
Yes.
It's we bounce things off each other, and then you end up with something which is, you know, seems to work.
Yes.
And you know, I can be, you know, pat myself on the back, I think, because we have, with your help and your assistance and your guidance, reached a point within the Sotogrande area where we stand out.
Yes.
You know, it is, you know, I don't think anybody has really, you know, even attempted to follow what we've been trying to do. You know, it's good to have competition, but in this case, we don't really have that much. And all that is due to the innovation, to the thought process, to the, you know, looking at what other people are doing around the world. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
You know, just have to see what's going on and jump on the wave and then go. You know, and it's what people sort of feel, and they have that difficulty is that first big step. But anyway, it's been great. The collaboration's been good.
I must say that many things from marketing I learned it from you both, especially from you. Like sometimes I have my students or clients say I'm saying out loud things that I say, oh my God, this is Charlie talking.
Yeah, from where you sit, and
Yes.
you know, we can pat ourselves on the back, but we're not perfect in any way. You know, what is the biggest mistake you think real estate people are making? And you know, we look at, you know, what people are doing globally. You know, we look at the US particularly because they seem to be the leading edge in terms of how things are done, and the rest of the world seems to follow over time. But there must have been mistakes we made that, you know, we said, oh, maybe is there anything in mind that you have?
We as Knoll, or
We as
or
you
agents.
individually or whatever, as agents or as Knoll or as, but in real estate.
One of the things is always timing, Charlie. It's I always read back when we do the annual meeting, I always read back what I propose, because what I'm seeing in Ryan Serhant or other figures that are from United States or big real estate agents. And what I notice is that it takes too long for us to identify a need from the market or something that we must do and then apply it. But at the same time, it's the process we need to become that person. For instance, personal brand and podcast, it was years ago, but still you're the one that has to do it. You have to go through a process that, okay, I feel I can do this. I feel that it can add value, because it's not just doing for doing. And that is the mistake I see in the real estate market. Everyone thinks that it's just selling houses and putting listings on the website and that's it. Yeah. And they get usually hyped because they get one sale and they think they're proper real estate agents when they're not. They don't know what's really involved behind. That is not only real estate market, it's across all niches.
Absolutely. I mean, that's very clear with me, in the sense that, first of all, this industry is not regulated. So anybody can call themselves a real estate agent. So anybody that looks at what other people are doing thinks they can do it. And, putting up a one post that doesn't get there. As pretty as it can be, as good as it can be, it's just not going to cut it. The one thing that I find very restrictive has been before really social media, right at the beginning, is, we live in a resort. The resort has, what we do is very simple. We sell property, and property, you need property to sell, and you need people to buy it. They're two very, very easy things to identify. But the communication we have with the newspapers and the magazines is extremely limited. And
you mean limited towards international audience?
Limited in numbers. We have the HCCP, we got SAK Plus now.
In numbers here locally, yes.
Locally, and it's all extremely repetitive, all the same thing. It is very tiring, I think, for a reader to pick it up and say, it's the same thing again. And I think most of them, would say that they live off the real estate market. That's what we do here for them. These are magazines or newspapers you give away. People are not paying for them, therefore there's no income coming back for the magazine people from that point of view. It must be very difficult for them to keep that going. And I think there's going to be a change in that, particularly from paper to digital. The way they do that is going to be very interesting to see how they develop in a market which has predominantly English-speaking people buying property or renting property here. So there's a language issue, I think. There is the executional issue, and is there then the way you get to the person being the digital way rather than the paper way or other alternative ways that exist.
But it's also, Charlie, it's or you adapt or you die.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think they haven't adapted not only to the language, they haven't adapted, like, we are doing everything they should be doing because they are sort of bigger than us when it comes to communication. So you're the one doing a podcast, which is innovative, but they should have done it 10 years ago. So it's not just paper and social media. It's, okay, what else? What is another way to communicate nowadays? And that's how they should tackle everything, not just the podcast. It's maybe videos with people, or they already cover that, but a proper YouTube channel. Yeah. No institution here of press or communication has a proper YouTube channel where they upload good content, value content. So I think they're a little bit behind when it comes to how people are consuming information nowadays.
Yeah. Which is on the phone, on your screen. Okay, well, that's very interesting, and I don't think there's anything else you want to add about marketing and in general, but...
Let's switch. Switch careers, switch everything.
Switch careers. So that's it. You fell off a cliff, and then you went to Málaga, and you built your own business. Oratoria y liderazgo. Is that what it's called?
Yes. I'm building the personal brand, so I'm not going to call it anything else than what it really is. Right. So it's Silvina Hood, leadership and communication, whether it's public speaking or persuasion.
Right. Why that? Where did that come from?
Why that? Because it came a moment with marketing and sales and everything where I love being of service, but I noticed that the more I do, the more behind I am of being of service, of true service, I have a people pleaser inside of me.
What do you mean by service?
By service, good. I'm getting there. So I have a people pleaser within me. I need to please people. I need to make you feel good in somehow. Or I feel joy when you achieve, when you accomplish sales or whatever it is that you want to accomplish. And by doing operative, just the operational work, I do have an impact on that, but I don't see that much, or the impact is limited to actions. And being of service is, how can I unblock whatever it is that you have, that you can be more or do more? So being of service is, me sale en español,
okay.
Estar al servicio del otro.
Okay.
Like I'm your attendant,
Right.
your life attendant. So what do you need from me? What can I provide? Whatever it is, professional experience, personal experience, wisdom, whatever it is that I have that will help you in any way I can.
Okay. That is very interesting.
What you do with the podcast and the community,
Yeah.
that is being of service.
Because I've worked in big multinationals and I've reached a level where we were, as a group, the HR, we're always looking at ways of improving the people that worked and helping them to develop, to become better at what they're doing. So
Yes.
I personally have been analyzed psychologically with all these tests that you can do.
Uh-huh.
And, I have changed from being an introvert, INTJ, an introvert, I can't remember the actual test. It's not Bristol Myers. Anyway, it's a thing you end up being, 4 things. And I was I'm still an introvert. Would you believe? And they
Yes.
say that people that come out of that of the other extreme, you come
Yeah.
out being over extroverted, or people think you're super extroverted when you're actually not. It's a defense mechanism in a way. But this idea of looking at people and trying to help them, trying to understand is something which I found myself because I was traveling all over the world. I had left my nuclear family behind, my parents behind, when I lived in South America, then when I lived in various places. And my village were the people around me, my employees, where I was working, obviously my immediate family, but they were the people I looked after. And I was not so much of service to them, but their almost parent, and I would, jealously look after them. It was very much, and it was, these people took it out of me. I didn't realize why I was like that.
Exactly.
But it's something that's very interesting. So yeah, I know people need that. People need some help and they don't know so.
They don't know.
Until they realize what it could be.
Yes, exactly. That's why the whole social media, in social media, you're sitting all the time because you don't know you have a problem. You think you're being comfortable being an introvert. I was an introvert. I remember in January 2023, we were sitting here and I told you, yes, but I'm an introvert. I cannot do this. And you said, I'm an introvert as well. And that's when it hit. It's like, what do you mean you're an introvert? You're the most extrovert person I know. And you said, okay, no, you learned how to be an extrovert, but that in reality, you need your time on your own.
Yeah.
You need your space. You like to be secluded as well as you, as much as you like people.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit. It's like, okay, I can work this on myself as well. So I didn't know back then that I had a problem because for me, being an introvert was my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yes, but is it really comfortable not to be able to leave your home because you are social phobic or because it's too much crowd or it's too much people or you don't want to be seen? Like, no, that's not a life.
So, I mean, I've seen you in action through your LinkedIn posting, your thing, and you're talking.
And you saw the process of me getting out of the cave.
I did, and I'm very proud of you, I must
Thank
say.
you.
I'm very, very proud of you. But this intensive one-on-one coaching program you have as well, but also to people, how does that
Yes,
work?
group and one-on-one.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, how does it work? I love both products. People often mistake that if you don't have a one-on-one, the quality is diluted.
Yeah.
Yes, diluted. And it's not like that. It's just different.
Right.
Because the group programs, are really helpful for people who have a problem. They don't know how to solve it, and they're still not being able to do it by themselves. So it's really useful for you when you have a group program, when they see themselves in other people's issues, blocks, and problems. So they evolve together. They're like mirrors to each other. And the one-on-one program is more focused on people who will do exactly what you tell them to do, and we put into practice immediately, because they know they have a problem. They know they're going to do whatever it takes to solve it, but they just don't know how, the path. And that's where I come in. I become their guide, but they do the work. In the group program is that more they help each other.
Right.
I'm guiding, but they help each other.
Do you have follow-ups online? Is that what you do? Or
yes, it's only online.
Only online.
Only online, but I do events, monthly events, or at the end of the program or in the middle of the program, it depends, in person to meet them, and also is to keep the hype of the program.
Do they meet each other? I mean,
yes, as well. It's beautiful.
That must be very, very good to see them.
Yes, it's good because you devirtualize all the people.
Very good. Mind, body, soul.
You read my LinkedIn.
All of that. What is your approach to communication? How do you go about this? Because it's key, obviously, to what you do.
Yes. So what I'm in the path nowadays, I do a lot of testing, and I like to try a lot of things. That's why sometimes I open the fun and then I close it down, because you need to focus. Otherwise you confuse people and you confuse your avatar, and a person who's confused does not buy. But what mind, body, soul, what it means is that every person I work with has a purpose behind what they're doing. It's not just I want to make money and this is what I want to do. No, okay, why do you want to make money? Because I want to help people, or because I want to overcome my blocks or whatever. Okay, yes. So that is the mind and the purpose. It is aligned. It is in coherence. I'm not going to teach someone who wants to do evil in the world. I'm not going to teach persuasion to someone does not have good values or does not have a clear intention in what they want. That is what the mind, body, soul. And that, because it was also my path. The more I am aligned with my heart wants, my body wants, and what my body can sustain. Yeah.
I mean, you say your energy speaks louder than your own words.
Yes.
Yeah. What does that actually mean? Your energy?
I'm glad that you brought that up. Because it's funny. I'm going to bring my father into the room. His leadership or his way of being was never much of big words, but with his energy, you could sense in whatever mood he was. And I remember you told me a few stories that it's like, yeah, this is what my father did. I'm going to get back to that in a second, that you mentioned you did. So he's the person that walks into a room and now he's more like a grandparent. He doesn't have that solid energy anymore. He's more gentle in that way. But he would walk into the room and you don't even could hear him, but you can sense him. You can sense whether he was in a good mood, in a bad mood, whatever. You could sense his energy because his presence would take the room. Yeah. And that's how he lead. He was a leader. He was a rugby captain. He was an entrepreneur. And that's why how people followed him. He didn't have to talk much, but he would pull the people towards them because of this power. Yeah. And I remember you mentioned that when we were talking about Latin America and how you can manage yourself not to get robbed in the middle of the street, and is to use this energy. Yeah. Because after all, it's electrons pouring out of our bodies. We don't see it, but we can sense it. So I remember you said that you built sort of this bubble in Latin America, not to to protect yourself.
I mean, it's just standing tall. It's just shoulders back.
It's the standing up.
Physical.
The physiology.
Yeah, and that gives it, and that gives off energy, exactly. and that means people will or will not. Bullies go for weak people.
Yes,
that's what bullies do.
If I were like this, most probably one would bully me more than if I am taking over space. And that's why when it comes to mind, body, and soul, it goes to that. It's not just working on the words. Oh, you have to say it this way. No, it's work on your body, because your body will dictate who you are. Right. Yeah. And that's what I use when it comes to crowds.
You talk about bloqueo as well. Things that block
blocks.
What is that? How do you get over that? How do you overcome that?
Micro-stepping, everything. And that is what I'm applying now that I'm overcoming the fear of driving. Is to micro-dividing every step of the process into possible steps that, they scare you, but they're not enough strong to push you away.
Yeah.
So
it's like they say, how do you eat an elephant?
yes, I'm not going to bring that because I'm mostly vegan, and I was thinking I need to change this example to something that's more aligned to my world. But yes, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time, exactly.
Yeah. It's just you get there, but it's slowly.
Yes, exactly. But people, when they are blocked, all they see is the final outcome they want to achieve and the distance, the gap in between. So when you know that all you have to do is focus on the next step, not there, you'll get there.
Right. You also, moving on a little bit, focus a lot on women.
Yes.
And helping women, particularly, I think.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen many men in your groups, but I have seen them.
I work with men a lot,
I know, okay.
but in the back office.
Like me.
Yes.
Right. How did that happen? Why is that something that you accentuate?
Like everything I do.
And sorry, just for the audience, I'm not talking about women problems. I'm talking about women entrepreneurs, women professionals.
Yes, coaches,
women
entrepreneurs.
Coaches, women professionals.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there are many things. I'll try to be brief and concise. Everything I do with my business, it's also a learning path for me. Right. So I use it as a tool to grow myself, personally and professionally. What happened with women is that every time I worked with men all my life, with strong men, bold men, even pushy men, machistas, everything. Machistas would be... Machistas, vale. And I was okay. Like, I had no trouble. They did what I asked for. I did what they asked for. Like, nice, healthy relationship with them, for me. And those were my clients when I was mentoring, mostly men. And it was very natural. They would apply. They would do exactly as I said. Now, when it came to women, Charlie, I realized that the more I wanted to help, the more I pushed them away. And suddenly I tried to help friends, and they wouldn't answer, and they wouldn't apply, and they would, every time they would see me, they would, with this guilt, like, I haven't done it. It's like, okay, like, I don't care. We're still friends. Like,
you were talking to them like a man.
Exactly, Charlie. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I knew it, but I didn't know that you should treat women differently than men. I had women friends all my life, but they were very masculine energy women, like, always moving forward. Again, not this sensitive, vulnerable part that you need to embrace them differently. You have 2 daughters. You're always surrounded with women. You know how to deal with them. Yeah. I didn't. I had to learn. So what I proposed myself is, okay, I always work in immersion stages. Like every time I want to learn something, I immerse in it. It's the only way to learn faster, but also it's the way my brain works. So I said, I'm only going to work with women publicly, and my communication will go with women until I learn how to manage them, until I learn how to make them evolve the same distance with men without breaking them in the middle.
Okay. Very good.
And why coaches and etc., because that is my way of filtering the level of conscience that I bring the people to the program, because they have already worked on themselves and they know clearly what they want, and that is key. Very laudable, very good, well done. Outside of marketing and coaching, what genuinely lights you up? The same. When my hobby is to do marketing, coaching, and everything, like I read. What about woof woof? Vale, and woof woof. Claro, this comes from being a dog trainer in the past. You've been a dog trainer. Yes, so yes, I was a dog trainer. That's how I got into the coaching world, and that's how I really got into the energy speaks louder than words. Because when I was coaching my dog, she still has problems. But now we have a beautiful life. But when working with dogs, you cannot BS dogs. You cannot fake your emotions to dogs. No, they feel it. So even if I tell her, stay calm, sit, put, and if I'm not calm, she won't be calm. Yeah. So I had to learn how to align my energy to whatever I wanted to put out there. Right. In words. And yes, so when my hobbies or in my free time, I love working and spending time with my dog. She's a Belgian Malinois, so she's like a humanoid. Very hyperactive, like an autistic. The cleverest dogs around, I think, or maybe sheepdogs are as well, but they're way these are not sheepdogs because they tend to No, what I'm saying is from intelligence point of view. Oh, yeah. They need the same agility, the mind agility and the mind stimulation that is as a sheepdog, yes. Okay.
Few closing questions, maybe. How would you define Sotogrande in one word or one sentence or one phrase?
I still remember the day I came to Sotogrande, like if it was today.
Really?
Yes, 18th of May, because I came at 20. I was 27, and when I arrived to Sotogrande, we came all through the highway, and we stayed at the quay to have a coffee, to sit, just to
relax.
Yes, to relax from the trip. And it was the first time in 27 years that I felt safe. That I felt safe as a woman, safe of being sitting down without having to look all around me. I remember my ex-boyfriend putting the purse and everything on the table, and I was in alert mode. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, nothing is going to rob us. Yeah. Relax. It's like, what do you mean nothing is going to rob us? No one is going to rob us. What do you mean I can be relaxed? What do you mean I can dress like I want as a woman?
Yeah. So it's
safe.
A safe place.
Safe heaven.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Right. Is there a question I should have asked you that I did not?
Nice. I like that one. Yes. Why I'm not living in Sotogrande today? Because 10 years have passed.
Why are you not living in Sotogrande today? 10 years have passed since you left.
So for 27 years old, a person from that age, 10 years ago, maybe Sotogrande wouldn't have been the best option. But nowadays, I don't live because I am still single. No, but I'm single, and I have a lot of activities there that I enjoy. But as I am now more and more creating my own life, not depending on the life that's already created, that I can do, like I need this group. When I can create it myself, I could consider it. I'm not, because I don't want to come here living on my own. But if I have a couple, a person, or a family, I would. Yeah. Every time year passes, I understand more and more the concept of Sotogrande.
But also, I think Sotogrande is going closer to what a lot of people want.
Yes.
It's not 10 years ago, it was a very different place. And since the confinement, COVID and all that, it's changed dramatically.
Yes, exactly.
As has the Costa del Sol in many ways.
Yes.
Because of, geopolitical things and all things that are happening in this part of the world, because it's blessed with weather, it's blessed with, lovely people, it's blessed with good food, it's blessed with all these things that, make it a good place and a desirable place to go and live.
And back then, Charlie, it is true that back then it was maybe a retirement place. But nowadays I see it, and there's people from all the ages and people that are aligned. And also Marbella has increased a lot of these activities. It's not just shopping and that. Actually,
yes, I think you're absolutely right. The Marbella now offers much more than just the nightclub, the beaches, the all that sort of stuff. But it's still very congested, and that's
no. I'm not
issue.
saying to live there.
No. I'm just saying that's the big issue we see. That people say I've been there. It's just lovely, but it's too much like being at home.
No, but now that I have a car, Sotogrande would be ideal, Charlie, because it's like, Marbella is really near.
Okay. So finally, where can people find out more about you if they want to connect to you and your work? How would they do that?
In all my socials, all my website, everything is Silvina Hood. My surname is Hood, like Robin Hood. Yeah. I do not steal, but I do carry the cunning hood. Silvina Hood everywhere. Okay. Yes. Very good. Instagram, LinkedIn, omnipresence, like Noel.
Silvina, thank you very much for being on. It's been fantastic. And everyone, Silvina Hood, now. That's a way to contact her is through her name. You just Google it and she's there. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.